Hello, Trevor. How are you today?
Great to be with you again, Jason.
Thank you. And it's great to be back again. So what are we talking about this week?
So this week, Jason, is National Recycling Week. Of course, it's a great time to reflect on all the government's reforms and our record funding to build recycling facilities right around the country so that we can turbocharge our recycling. But it's also a good time for everybody in households and as individuals and in businesses to think, what more can I do to get better recycling results? And the first tip I'd have for people, I've brought this packet of Tim Tams along to make the point very strongly. There is something called the Australasian recycling label that's turning up on more and more products on supermarket shelves. So the Morrison government is supporting a campaign called Check It Before You Chuck It. It lets everybody know to look for these labels so that they can very easily understand which bin the different pieces of packaging can go into. Another great place for tips and tricks for better recycling is Planet Ark's website, recyclingnearyou.com.au, also proudly backed by our government.
Oh, fantastic. And how much is this, how much are we funding this to the tune of?
So all up, the federal government is committing almost $250 million, $249 million in this federal budget, and that's going to a range of different things. Of course, co-investing in the new recycling facilities that we want to see built right around the country. That's the biggest component of it. There's also smaller investments for some of the education and awareness campaigns like the ones that we're talking about here, and money put aside to help governments start to be better purchasers of recycled content and to start using things like recycled plastics in our roads and infrastructure.
And how much will this save us on waste?
Well, our hope is that over the next 10 years, we can save more than 10 million tonnes of waste from going into landfill. That's 10 million tonnes of resources where we can recognise the value of it and turn it into the next generation of fantastic products. And the kicker, of course, is we think that this can create over 10,000 new jobs around Australia, and jobs in some of the places where Australia most critically needs to see them the most.
And this has all come about because we've stopped exporting our waste, is that right?
That's a big part of it. So as we turn the taps off for that waste to travel overseas in our region, as we keep it here in Australia and as we build the facilities to deal with it here, it's all about making Australia more self-sufficient and more self-reliant, and this is going to feed into our new manufacturing strategy where we think that recycling can be one of the 6 areas of competitive strengths for Australia's new manufacturing sector.
And just a matter of interest, do you think there'll ever be a time when we start importing waste and reprocessing it on behalf of other people?
I think that there's a real potential for us to help solve the waste and marine debris issue right across the Pacific. And that would be a very big deal for some of our close friends and neighbours in those countries around the Pacific. For them, they have their own waste management issues, of course, but for them, marine debris is probably one of their biggest existential threats in terms of their fisheries and their lifestyle. So I love the idea of being able to build these facilities here in Australia and to learn ways that we can, I suppose, export the solutions for these problems to all of our neighbours right across our region.
Well, Trevor, thank you very much. This sounds like a very exciting program, and thank you for involving us.
Absolute pleasure. Thanks, Jason.
See you.
Authorised by Jason Falinski, Liberal Party, Narrabeen.